Hello everybody. So today I'm going to do a video on reviewing certain bushcraft slash prepper items. Um, we're going to start off with the more poorly made ones, and I'm going to go up to the better ones that I've had. So we're going to start off with the Ridge Runner Survival, or Survival Tomahawk, I guess you could call it. First of all, I do not like the uh blade guard on it, or the um scabbard, I guess you could call it. So, as far as the blade goes, it's okay. I've used it. Um, I don't recommend it as a commonly used item. I have not tested out the tool parts on it yet. The bolt pieces on it. So I don't know how well they're gonna work. As far as the hammerhead on the back of it goes, I'm not too fond of it. It's made out of a mild steel, which is very soft. I attempted to use it to hammer in stakes into the ground when I was camping, and it started burring on me. And the burrs were actually that sharp that if you'd run your finger over it, it could cut you. Thankfully I had a rasp with me, because usually when I go camping, I take a rasp with me in case I need to sharpen like an axe or something like that. But anyway, it burred on me, so I had to take the rasp and actually file down all the sharp edges on the burrs. Uh, Also, I do not like the plastic handle. To me, it feels like it was cheaply made, and the fact that the headpiece is not all one piece. The hammerhead, like I said, is a mild steel, where this is actually a harder steel. Um, but the reason why I have an issue with this is because, if you can see, if my camera's gonna allow it, they didn't really mask over the welds very well, because the hammerhead was actually welded on. Now, I'm sure you can actually forge on a hammerhead onto an axe. The other thing that I'm not fond with is the thinness of the blade. Because comparably to an axe I'm going to be showing later on in the video, this one is more of like, I'd say more reminiscent of not really a tomahawk in that regard. It's more reminiscent of a battle axe. The one thing that I'm going to say majorly negative about this axe, Ridge Runner axe, is the fact that it had an adhesive. I don't know what kind of adhesive it was. All I know, it was very obnoxious. Uh, Ridge Runner. If someone from Ridge Runner is watching this, I'm gonna say this right now: don't put the adhesive on this. I highly, I highly say it's bad. Um, and reason I call it obnoxious is because when they put the adhesive on it, they also wrapped it with cordage. It wasn't paracord. Um, it was a nylon based rope, which was very soft and very giving. To me, it almost felt like shoelace, almost. Um, Paracord I would have preferred, because it's at least 34 feet of cordage that they had on the back on this, wrapping all that. My advice to somebody who wants to do a wrap: don't put adhesive on it, something like this. If you have these little, um, I'll call them nipples. If you have these little nipples on it, you can always put the cord up here first and pull it as tight as you can possibly make it as you're going down because it won't budge. Um, and quite honestly, another thing they could have done is they could have drilled a hole into this because there is a tang on this axe blade that only comes to about there on it. The rest of this is all plastic. So if they'd have drilled a hole in here and then just fed a little bit of the cordage through and then just had a piece of cord come down and then pulled it tight, it would have worked just as well. Personally, being I purchased the blade, I am gonna say I'm giving it a 2 out of 10, which is not a very great score. I'm gonna end up replacing the handle and putting new cordage on it, and I'll probably recycle the two-way bolts that they have on it. But other than that, for the blade itself, it works for some things, but not for like survival purposes. I would use it more as like a wedge to split wood than anything. To me, it works like a wedge with a handle on it. That's pretty much what it serves. Now, on to the next one. This was a knife that I purchased during that whole Wish craze. Personally, I purchased it for the purpose of having something to work off of for a design for buck buck knives, Bowie knives. First of all, it comes in this really crappy fabricant scabbard, which I don't really care for. But it is a Bowie knife made by Buckshot. It's made out of 440 steel with a wood and plastic handle grip. Personally, it looks nice, but it's cheaply made. I can tell it's made out of sheet steel. It's made out of 440 sheet steel. The edge does not hold very well. I actually have some edge deformation on it already. And after hardly any use of it, the guard and this wood piece in here have become loose. And I pretty much am sure that this is not a full tang. If anything, it probably comes to about there. Knowing anything that was made in China, which this was. Again, very cheaply made. Even the scabbard, it's not only is it fabric, but the piece to lock the blade into the sheath or scabbard. I believe this is more of a scabbard than it is a sheath. Well, yes, this is a sheath. Never mind. Is Velcro. So you catch it on a piece of clothing, it will tear that right off, and you could end up losing the knife anyway. So both of those are on the low end. That one I do give a 2 out of 10 as well because it's a cheaply made item. If I have to fix it, it's not that good. Now on to some of the more higher end ones that I recommend. Now, yes, this one might break the budget for some people because this one's about $135. I'm not going to say what the name of the company that makes it is because I know I'm going to butcher the name of it. But it is a carbon steel blade, I believe. Uh, it's very thick. I've actually used this when I've gone camping. Uh, Batoning with it, great to do. It's a hefty knife. I mean, this thing has to weigh at least a pound and a half on its own. Cocobolo handle with hex bolt, two-way bolts. It's got a piece here where you can actually put a cordage through it and keep so that you actually don't accidentally slice your hand open. It has a nice Recalso like finger well on it too. This one actually has a very hefty leather sheath for it, which actually, with how hard and rigid it is, I would actually more or less call this a scabbard than a sheath. It also comes with a ferro rod, which this isn't the original one that came on it. The original one I've actually swapped out, because this one was actually larger than that one, and this one throws a better spark than that one did. Which that one actually threw a good spark. It's just not as good as this one. Also, the other reason I got rid of it for this one is because this piece on it was actually wood, where if I recall on that one it was like a hard plastic, and I prefer a wooden piece on the end of the ferro rod because if I need to, I can always scrape a little bit of wood off of that to use to actually make a tinder bundle or a fire starter. Another thing this comes with is a 700 grit whetstone, which again I honestly quite prefer. This one, contrary to the other one, this one actually has snaps to actually hold on, and they actually hold very well. As you could see, I was actually having a little bit of trouble getting it off. And pretty much the whetstone, it even has on the back of it, which I gotta pull it back out, a paper stating that it's a natural whetstone, that what grit it is, and it also has on it to be used only with water, never oil. Mainly the reason why it says that is because being it's a natural whetstone, you can actually submerge this in water, which all you gotta do is find a stream, submerge this for a couple seconds, and then pull it out, and you can just run it across your blade. And if you have more than one knife on you, you can sharpen more than one knife with it. Finally, we're gonna go to the last one on the list. Now, the first two that I rated at 2 out of 10. They were both about $20. That one's about $135. And quite honestly, I rate that one at more of a 9 out of 10 because it's actually a decent knife. Since I've had it, I have only need to sharpen it one time. And that is going to happen down soon. I'm going to be sharpening that one. Finally is the last item that I'm going to review, which is this double-headed axe. The company that makes it is over in the UK. It is the head is casted. Now, in the description of the axe, they said it was stainless steel, but on further investigation, I found that it is actually a carbon steel that Amazon was just trying to downsell it. And the reason why I know it's carbon steel is stainless steel does not rust and it does not tarnish. And this one has begun to tarnish, like right in here. and in here, those dark spots that you see on it, those are actually rust that I'm gonna well, it's not really rust, it's patina that's starting to grow on the blade. Um and I constantly have to keep oiling this because uh again, for to prevent rust, I have to oil it, which I did do. I A long time ago I did do a video on how to take care of like weapons and stuff like that. I may end up revisiting that and showing how to take care of certain tools, especially ones like this. Um, on that same note, now this one, it was decent. I didn't pay as much as I paid for the knife. If I recall, I think this was about $80 I paid for this. You cannot order these anymore. Apparently, the company stopped making them, and Amazon has stopped selling them. Um, but on the negative, I do not like how the handle is made, where it has this swell right in here. Either I'm gonna replace the handle, or I'm just gonna shave that down and then just sand the whole works down, and then go over it with like linseed oil or something like that. Which I think I may end up just doing that, sanding it down and cleaning it up. Uh, the axe blade actually performs great. I mean, this actually, when I've cut with it, I've actually split wood on one strike, where usually I don't have that much luck. Uh, Negative wise, I would say the handle, and also that, as you can see there, this side is actually thinner than this side. Uh, for $80 though, I'm not going to complain. It does do the job. It has a few negatives. Um, and the scabbard that came with it is it's supposed to be a leather, but it's very thin leather. And the nice part about that is the way you can put it in. You can either put the axe in two different ways, where one is you're actually hanging it from a belt loop, or the other way is actually flipping it around and the belt loop is down here. So you can either hang it if the belt loop is on it, it's either here or here. So you can either all you got to do is flip it around, and you can either use it one way or the other. However you prefer, however is more comfortable with you. I don't have the scabbard on me. It's actually on my bug out bag, because this is one of my bug out tools. But yeah, this one I would have to rate at a 6 out of 10. It's not the greatest axe, but it serves its purpose. And the fact of the matter is there's more than one use for an axe. You can either use it as a tool or use it as a weapon. So, quite honestly, I have a few different tools at my disposal on my bug out bag, but this is one of them. So, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have a nice day.